Good evening, my weary academics, and welcome to History to Sleep By, where we nerd out and conk out. If you enjoy calm, narrated history documentaries, or just need a reliable friend to help with restless nights, please subscribe, leave a like, and maybe share a comment about what's happening in your life. That way, you'll always find your way back to us. Now, let's begin tonight's journey. In the autumn of 1778, the American frontier was a place of tension and unease. The Revolutionary War had extended its reach into the backcountry, where settlers and soldiers alike faced the constant threat of raids. The Cherry Valley Massacre, which unfolded on November 11, 1778, was a grim chapter in this turbulent time. It was an event marked by a blend of strategic maneuvering and the harsh realities of frontier warfare. The backdrop to this raid was a series of escalating conflicts. Earlier in the year, the Wyoming Valley had witnessed its own tragedy, and operations around Unadilla and Oquaga had set the stage for further unrest. The frontier was a patchwork of allegiances, with loyalists and patriots vying for control, while Native American tribes, such as the Haudenosaunee, navigated their own complex alliances. Among these tribes, the Mohawk and Seneca, led by the formidable Joseph Brant, known as Thayendanegea, played a significant role. The attacking force that descended upon Cherry Valley was a formidable one. It was composed of Butler's Rangers, a loyalist unit commanded by Captain Walter Butler. These Rangers were seasoned fighters, adept at the guerrilla tactics that characterized much of the frontier conflict. Alongside them were Haudenosaunee warriors, their presence a testament to the intricate web of alliances that defined the region. The Mohawk and Seneca warriors, with their deep knowledge of the land, added a layer of unpredictability to the impending attack. Cherry Valley itself was a small settlement, its landscape a mix of fortified structures and scattered farms. At its heart was Fort Alden, a palisaded post under the command of Colonel Ichabod Alden of the 7th Massachusetts Regiment. The fort was a symbol of security, yet its defenses were not impenetrable. Around it, the settlement spread out, with families living in homes that were vulnerable to sudden assault. The local militia and pickets were spread thin, their vigilance a constant necessity. As the attackers approached, the night was still, the air heavy with anticipation. The Loyalists and their native allies moved with stealth, their presence masked by the darkness. The first signs of the raid were swift and brutal. Outlying homes were breached, their inhabitants caught off guard. The attackers showed little mercy, and the cries of the settlers echoed through the night. Colonel Alden, caught outside the fort, met his fate in the chaos. His loss was a blow to the defenders, his leadership sorely missed in the hours that followed. Within Fort Alden, those who had managed to reach its relative safety prepared for a siege. The defenders, both soldiers and civilians, braced themselves, aware of the precariousness of their situation. Outside the fort, the attackers continued their assault, the settlement around them engulfed in flames. The destruction was widespread, a calculated effort to dismantle the community's infrastructure and morale. The casualties were significant. Soldiers and civilians alike fell to the attackers' fury. Some were taken captive, their fates uncertain in the hands of their captors. The property destruction was extensive, the once thriving settlement reduced to smoldering ruins. The strategic shock of the raid reverberated across the New York frontier. It was a stark reminder of the war's reach and the vulnerability of those living on its edges. In the aftermath, calls for retaliation grew louder. The need to harden defenses and protect remaining settlements became a priority. The raid's impact was not just immediate, but also far-reaching. It played a role in shaping the planning for the Sullivan-Clinton expedition of 1779, a campaign designed to counter the threat posed by the Haudenosaunee and their loyalist allies. The raid on Cherry Valley was a catalyst, its memory a driving force behind the expedition's conception. As the night deepens, let the story of Cherry Valley serve as a reminder of resilience in the face of adversity. The frontier was a place of constant challenge, yet those who lived there endured, their stories woven into the fabric of history. May this tale of a distant past bring you a sense of calm as you drift into a restful sleep. Until next time, dear listeners, rest well and dream of history's gentle embrace. In the quiet aftermath of the Cherry Valley raid, the settlers faced the daunting task of rebuilding their lives. The landscape bore the scars of conflict, yet the people were determined to restore their homes and their sense of community. The village, once vibrant, now stood as a testament to both human vulnerability and resilience. Families gathered to mourn their losses, drawing strength from one another. The bonds forged in adversity became the foundation for their recovery. As the seasons changed, so did the fortunes of the village. Spring brought with it a sense of renewal. Fields, left fallow during the tumult, were once again sown with seeds of hope. The settlers worked tirelessly, their hands calloused from labor, their spirits buoyed by the promise of new beginnings. Each day was a step towards reclaiming what had been lost, a journey marked by quiet determination. The children, too, played their part in this renewal. Their laughter, once silenced by fear, returned to the fields and forests. They explored the land with a sense of wonder, their innocence a balm for the wounds of war. In their games, they reenacted tales of bravery and survival, stories passed down by their elders. Through their eyes, the world was a place of endless possibility, unmarred by the shadows of the past. In the evenings, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the village gathered to share stories by the fire. These moments of communal reflection were a balm for weary souls. Elders recounted tales of their own youth, weaving a tapestry of history that connected the past with the present. The flames danced in the night, casting a warm glow on faces that had seen both joy and sorrow. The natural world, too, played its part in the village's healing. The forests, once silent witnesses to conflict, began to teem with life. Birds returned to their nests, their songs filling the air with melodies of peace. Deer roamed the meadows, untroubled by the presence of man. The cycle of life continued, a gentle reminder of nature's enduring resilience. As the years passed, the memory of the raid became a story told to new generations. It was a tale of courage and survival, a chapter in the larger narrative of the American frontier. The village, rebuilt and thriving, stood as a testament to the indomitable spirit of its people. They had faced the darkness and emerged stronger, their lives intertwined with the land they called home. The lessons learned in those difficult days were not forgotten. The settlers understood the importance of unity and vigilance, of standing together in the face of adversity. They knew that their strength lay in their community, in the shared experiences that bound them to one another. This knowledge became a guiding principle, shaping the way they lived and worked. In time, the village became a place of peace and prosperity. The fields yielded bountiful harvests, the fruits of hard work and dedication. The children grew into adults, taking on the responsibilities of their forebears. They carried with them the stories of the past, ensuring that the lessons of history would not be lost. The village's story, once marked by tragedy, became one of hope and renewal. It was a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is a light that guides us forward. The people of Cherry Valley had found that light within themselves, in their courage and their compassion. They had faced the trials of the frontier and emerged victorious, their legacy a beacon for future generations. As the night deepens, let the story of Cherry Valley continue to inspire. It is a tale of resilience and renewal, of a community that refused to be defined by its hardships. May it bring you comfort as you drift into a peaceful sleep, knowing that history is a tapestry woven with threads of hope. Rest well, dear listeners, and dream of a world where the past and present intertwine in harmony. In the gentle embrace of night, the story of Cherry Valley drifts into another chapter, where the whispers of history mingle with the rustling leaves. The village, nestled in the cradle of the frontier, stood as a testament to the enduring spirit of its people. As the years unfurled, Cherry Valley became a place where stories were not merely told but lived, each day adding a new thread to its rich tapestry. The seasons turned with a quiet grace, painting the landscape with hues of gold and green. Spring brought with it the promise of renewal, as blossoms adorned the trees and the air filled with the sweet scent of new beginnings. The villagers, their hands calloused from toil, welcomed the warmth with open hearts. Fields that had once lain fallow now burst with life, a testament to the resilience that had become their hallmark. Summer followed, its days long and languid, casting a golden glow over the valley. Children played in the meadows, their laughter a melody that danced upon the breeze. The river, a lifeline that wound its way through the heart of the village, glistened under the sun's gentle gaze. It was a time of abundance, of gatherings and celebrations that brought the community together in joyous harmony. As autumn descended, the valley transformed into a canvas of vibrant colors. The harvest, a culmination of months of labor, was a time of gratitude and reflection. The villagers gathered to share their bounty, their tables laden with the fruits of their labor. It was a season of stories, of tales passed down through generations, each one a thread in the fabric of their shared history. Winter, with its quiet majesty, wrapped the village in a blanket of snow. The world slowed, and a serene stillness settled over Cherry Valley. Fires crackled in hearths, casting a warm glow that banished the chill from the air. It was a time for introspection, for dreams spun from the flickering flames. The villagers, bound by a sense of kinship, found solace in the simple pleasures of life, their hearts warmed by the knowledge that they faced the future together. Through the passage of time, Cherry Valley remained a place where the past and present danced in delicate harmony. The village, once marked by trials, now stood as a beacon of hope and renewal. Its story, woven with threads of courage and compassion, continued to inspire those who called it home. The people, shaped by the land and their shared experiences, carried forward the legacy of their ancestors with quiet dignity. As the night deepens, let the gentle rhythm of Cherry Valley's tale lull you into a peaceful slumber. Dream of a world where history's lessons guide us, where the resilience of the human spirit shines brightly against the backdrop of time. May you find comfort in the knowledge that even in the darkest of times, there is a light that guides us forward. Rest well, dear listener, and let the story of Cherry Valley be your companion as you drift into the realm of dreams. As the moon cast its silvery glow over Cherry Valley, the village nestled in the embrace of the surrounding hills, a quiet serenity enveloped the landscape. The gentle rustling of leaves whispered secrets of the past, carried on the cool night breeze. The stars, like ancient sentinels, watched over the village, twinkling with a soft, reassuring light. In the heart of the village, the old oak tree stood proudly, its gnarled branches reaching skyward, a living testament to the passage of time and the endurance of nature. The villagers, having completed their day's work, settled into their homes, their hearts filled with a sense of contentment. The warmth of the hearths glowed softly through windows, casting a golden hue upon the cobblestone streets. Families gathered around tables laden with simple yet nourishing meals, sharing stories that had been passed down through generations. Laughter mingled with the crackling of the fire, creating a symphony of sounds that spoke of community and belonging. Elders, with their eyes reflecting the wisdom of years, shared tales of old with the young ones, who listened with rapt attention. These stories, woven with threads of truth and legend, painted vivid pictures of the village's past. They spoke of times when the land was untamed, when settlers first laid eyes upon the fertile valley and envisioned a future for their descendants. The struggles and triumphs of those early days were etched into the collective memory of Cherry Valley, serving as a reminder of the resilience that had carried them through. Outside, the night creatures stirred, their calls echoing softly in the stillness. An owl, perched high in the oak, hooted gently, its voice a soothing lullaby to the night. The river, winding its way through the valley, murmured softly as it flowed, its waters reflecting the starlit sky. The gentle cadence of the river's song was a constant companion to the village, a reminder of the life-giving force that sustained them. In the fields beyond the village, the crops swayed gently in the night breeze, their growth a testament to the careful tending of the villagers. The land, once a wild expanse, now bore the fruits of their labor, a harmonious blend of nature and human endeavor. The seasons, in their eternal dance, marked the rhythm of life in Cherry Valley, each bringing its own gifts and challenges. The villagers, attuned to this rhythm, embraced the changes with grace and gratitude. As the night deepened, a sense of peace settled over the valley. The troubles of the world seemed distant, held at bay by the strength of the community and the enduring spirit of the land. Here, In this quiet corner of the world, time seemed to slow, allowing for reflection and rest. The gentle embrace of the night offered solace to weary souls, a reminder that even in the midst of life's uncertainties, there was a place of refuge and renewal. The village, with its rich tapestry of history and human connection, stood as a beacon of hope in a world ever-changing. Its story, woven with care and compassion, continued to unfold with each passing day. The people of Cherry Valley, guided by the lessons of their ancestors, faced the future with courage and optimism. They knew that the strength of their community lay not only in the land they tended, but in the bonds they forged with one another. As the first light of dawn began to creep over the horizon, the village stirred from its slumber. The promise of a new day beckoned, filled with the potential for growth and discovery. The villagers, renewed by the night's rest, rose to greet the morning with open hearts and willing hands. They carried with them the legacy of those who had come before, a legacy built on the foundations of perseverance and hope. In Cherry Valley, the past and present coexisted in delicate harmony, each informing the other in a dance as old as time. The village, a living testament to the enduring power of community and the resilience of the human spirit, continued to inspire those who called it home. As the sun rose, casting its warm glow over the valley, the story of Cherry Valley unfolded anew, a story of courage, compassion, and the unyielding light that guides us all. In the gentle embrace of morning light, Cherry Valley came alive with the subtle symphony of daily life. The soft rustle of leaves whispered secrets of the past, while the distant murmur of the river harmonized with the cheerful calls of villagers beginning their day. Each sound, each movement was a thread in the rich tapestry of the village's history, woven with care and continuity. The cobblestone paths, worn smooth by countless footsteps, led to the heart of the village where the market square lay. Here the villagers gathered, exchanging greetings and laughter, their voices mingling in a melody of camaraderie. Stalls brimmed with the bounty of the land, fresh produce, handmade goods, and the occasional trinket that spoke of distant places and times. The air was filled with the scent of freshly baked bread, a comforting aroma that seemed to wrap around the village like a warm embrace. Among the villagers was old Thomas, the storyteller. His presence was as much a part of the village as the ancient oak that stood at its center. With a gentle smile and a twinkle in his eye, he shared tales of yore with anyone willing to listen. Today, he spoke of the village's founding, a tale passed down through generations. It was a story of brave souls who had ventured into the unknown, driven by dreams of a better life. Their journey had been fraught with challenges, yet their determination had carved out a haven in this tranquil valley. As Thomas wove his narrative, children gathered around, their eyes wide with wonder. They listened intently, imagining the trials and triumphs of those early settlers. In their minds, the past came alive, a vivid tapestry of courage and tenacity. The storyteller's words were like seeds, planting a sense of belonging and pride in the fertile soil of their young hearts. Nearby, the blacksmith's forge rang with the rhythmic clanging of hammer on anvil. Sparks flew like tiny stars, dancing in the morning air. The blacksmith, a sturdy figure with hands calloused by years of labor, worked with a focused intensity. His craft was both art and necessity. Each piece he forged a testament to skill and dedication. The tools and implements he created were not just objects, they were lifelines, essential to the village's daily rhythm. Across the square, the weaver sat at her loom, fingers deftly guiding threads into intricate patterns. Her work was a silent dialogue between color and texture, each piece a unique expression of creativity and tradition. The fabrics she produced were more than mere cloth. They were stories told in the language of warp and weft, connecting the present with the past. As the sun climbed higher, casting its golden light over the valley, the village hummed with activity. Farmers tended to their fields, their movements a graceful dance of toil and care. The earth, generous and nurturing, yielded its gifts in response to their labor. In return, the villagers treated the land with reverence, understanding the delicate balance that sustained their way of life. In the schoolhouse, children gathered to learn, their eager minds absorbing lessons of history, science, and art. The teacher, a patient guide, nurtured their curiosity, encouraging them to explore the world beyond the valley's borders. Education was a cherished value in Cherry Valley, a beacon of hope and progress. It was through knowledge that the villagers believed they could honor their ancestors and build a brighter future. As the day unfolded, the village continued its dance of life, each moment a step in the ongoing journey of Cherry Valley. The past was never far away, its echoes resonating in the present. Yet, the villagers looked forward, their eyes set on the horizon, where the promise of tomorrow awaited. In the quiet moments, when the sun began its descent and the sky blushed with the colors of dusk, the village paused. It was a time for reflection, for gratitude. The villagers gathered once more, this time in the warmth of their homes, sharing stories and meals. Laughter and love filled the spaces between words, binding them together in a tapestry of kinship and trust. As night fell, the village settled into a peaceful slumber, cradled by the gentle arms of the valley. The stars above, silent witnesses to the passage of time, twinkled softly, their light a reminder of the vastness of the universe and the enduring spirit of Cherry Valley. The story of the village continued, a testament to the strength of community and the unbreakable bonds that tied its people to one another and to the land they called home.